Today, the woman accusing Donald Trump of raping her at a New York department store in the 90s facing a second day of cross-examination from Donald Trump's lawyers, what Chris and I were just talking about. E. Jean Carroll on the stand being questioned about what she did and didn't do and the motivation behind pursuing the lawsuit decades later. Today, Trump attorney Joe Tacopina took the attacks a step further, suggesting she made up the allegation based on a 2012 episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Tacopina suggesting that perhaps Carroll got her story from the TV show. Now remember, E. Jean Carroll alleges Trump assaulted her in a dressing room at the department store Bergdorf Goodman, while she says Trump claimed to be shopping for lingerie for a friend. The storyline from the episode was awfully similar.
It was not her fantasy, it was mine.
Okay.
Yeah. World play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's. While she was trying on lingerie, I would burst in.
Tacopina asked her about a 2019 email she got from a person who wrote in. She wrote an advice column at the time, from someone who wrote in to Carroll, alerting her to the existence of the Law & Order episode. And here's the part that's troubling for Carroll. She replied, saying, I haven't seen it, but it happens all the time with Law & Order stories. Also, there are 200 scripted shows a year on TV. This kind of thing is bound to show up. Indeed, I'm surprised this sort of plot is not seen more often. Carroll would go on to say that she's a fan of Law & Order, but not SVU, which only deals with sex crimes. The scene of the alleged attack would come up another time when Tacopina brought up Carroll's shopping habits, seemingly to suggest that Carroll had no problems returning to the scene, Bergdorf Goodman, despite the trauma she claims to have suffered. Quote, you've made many purchases at Bergdorf Goodman since 1995-96, to which Carroll replied, I've not made many, but I've made several. Tacopina then presented the jury an itemized list of 23 purchases Carroll made from 2001 to 2008, totaling more than $13,000. Carroll replied, Bergdorf's is not a place that I'm afraid to enter. Tacopina would also use Carroll's professional advice against her, citing several of her advice columns for Elle magazine, in which she suggested her readers call the police in the event of a sexual assault, something Carroll did not do herself. Tacopina, there were numerous times where you've advised your readers to call the police, to which Carroll replied, in most cases, I advise my readers to go to the police. I was born in 1943. I'm a member of the silent generation. Women like me were taught to keep our chins up and not complain. The fact that I never went to the police is not surprising for someone my age. I'd rather have done anything than call the police. Trump's lawyer pointed out that there were occasions when Carroll did opt to call the police, and specifically after some kids vandalized a mailbox that belonged to an actor she knew. Quote, you call the police if a mailbox was attacked, but not when she said she was, quote, personally attacked by Mr. Trump? Carroll responded, listen, I was ashamed of what had happened. I thought it was my fault. Quite a day. Joining us now, Adam Klasfeld, Law and Crime's managing editor who was in court today. Adam, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. It does seem like it was a tough day for E. Jean Carroll. Is that a fair characterization?
I'd say that's fair. And part of the reason that's fair was because E. Jean Carroll's lawyers did not prepare her for these moments.
So they weren't ready for a lot of these moments?
It seemed to be the case, because if you remember the direct examination, they brought out a lot of the messages that she would expect to be confronted with by Joe Tacopina. They did not bring up the Law & Order episode, which we can go in a little bit. They didn't bring up some of the social media posts, and there were things to distinguish the Law & Order episode to her allegations. For example, the Law & Order episode was describing a fantasy of one of the characters. This could have been something that was drawn out during direct examination, but instead we're seeing the jury surprised about it for the first time and getting this information. That was tough for Carroll.
Yeah. All right. And you mentioned the social media posts. On Facebook, she had apparently said she was a big fan of The Apprentice, and there were some other posts as well.
Yes, there were the Apprentice posts, which you pointed to, that saying that she was a massive fan of the show in all caps.
Even that Donald Trump, of course, was the host of the show. Yeah.
Yes, and there was another one where she was making a really dark joke about would her readers have sex with Donald Trump.
She said that?
She said that in a Facebook post.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.